Good morning and namaste to each of you. Thank you for joining me this morning to honor your mind and your body and your spirit. Let's take a few moments to become present. Let's find a nice, comfortable seated position on a cushion or blanket, block, so that your spine and the back of your neck is nice and straight and tall, opening your diaphragm, opening your chest, opening your heart. Gently close your eyes and soften your thoughts. Soften your eyes. Soften your shoulders. Soften your heart. Observe your breath as it is, soft and gentle, breathing life into you with each inhale and relaxation with each exhale. Feel the grace of being present, returning to that awareness again and again. You may open your eyes now. For this morning's intention, you may think of a positive word or phrase to have with you on your mat and perhaps carry with you throughout the day. For this morning's intention, I'd like to talk about the last of the Niyamas, the fifth one, which is Isvara Pranidhana, and that is Sanskrit for surrender. Isvara Pranidhana presupposes that there is a divine force or something greater than ourselves at work in our lives, which invites us to surrender our egos, open our hearts, and accept the higher purpose of our being. Sometimes you can think of it as if you're moving in a direction that is meant to be. That's that feeling of when you're surrendering and it's guiding you along. But surrender is not passive. It's not giving up. It asks us to be strong enough to engage in each moment with integrity, and at the same time, to be soft enough to flow with the current of life. And with that phrase or sentence, I often think of the serenity prayer, which I've known for since my youth. It's God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So for this morning's meditation, I'd like to introduce a mudra that incorporates part of this Sanskrit name. It's the Pranidhana Mudra, and it supports us in surrendering, in letting go of attachments and releasing what we don't need in order to make space for what we do need. So to do the Pranidhana Mudra, you take your hands and you bring your thumb and your middle finger and your ring finger together so that you have your pinky and your index finger standing tall. And then you would bring the pinky and the pointer fingers together so that you could rest that on your lap. Might be a little hard depending on how long you meditate to maintain that, but again, it's a mudra that redirects, like the meridians in your are at the end tips of your fingers. It redirects the energies from the meridians back in to you in a certain way. And this combination of fingers supports us in letting go of attachments and releasing what we don't need to make room for what we do need. So let's take a few moments to meditate, and then we'll get going on our Yin Yoga session today. You may open your eyes. So just let's talk about Yin Yoga. And Yin Yoga is often called the yoga of the joints, because unlike other styles of yoga, the emphasis is not on the muscles, building up our muscles, but on the deep connective tissue, which is fascia. And there's been a lot of talk about fascia in the last number of years. If you, those of you, not everyone's done this, but if you've bisected an animal, like in a zoology class back in high school, or biology class back in high school or college, you remove the skin, you remove this tissues that keep your organs kind of all in the same place, and you discard that. Well, they realize now that that fascia that you're discarding is an extremely important part of your body, not only in holding up your organs and putting them in the right, or holding them in the right spot, but there's many other things that that does. So this style of yoga focuses on the fascia, or the connective tissues around your joints. And there's a lot of, with aging, keeping strong tissues around your joints, keep them stable so that you don't get wobbly and perhaps fall, or just keeps your strength going better. So it's a great yoga. I don't know if it's something that I think coupled with a regular style of vinyasa yoga or other styles of yoga, I think it's a great supplement to other styles. I don't know if doing it exclusively is the best way, but it's nice for us to throw it in every now and again to focus on a different piece of our bodies. So there's 3 principles in Yin Yoga. First one is to find your edge, and the edge is what I call the sweet spot. It's that spot between effort and relaxation. And you let your intuition be your teacher, and you should do that in any style yoga. So you let your body kind of let you know what's right for you and what's not right for you. So finding that sweet spot, or what they call the edge, you lean compassionately into each pose with that in mind, that sweet spot. The second principle is become as still as you can be, which is a doorway to being present. But I think it's one of the biggest mental and physical challenges that we have nowadays. We're always on a go, 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 and feel that just being still is not a good thing. And it actually is for your body. So being still as you can be is one of the principles and tenets of doing yoga, or Yin Yoga. And the last one is the surrender to time. So you just kind of be again in the place and let time pass. Typically the pose is held 3 to 5 minutes, sometimes longer. For our purposes, we'll do each pose. And if there's 2 sides to the pose, we'll do each one on for 2 minutes. So let's begin. I'll go to the mat, and again, have blocks or certainly a blanket or towel available to you to help support you in these poses. And with being still, our mind wanders, and I have affirmations for the spring to focus on if that's what your need is, or you could just be, and that's perfectly fine. These affirmations were selected to support yourself during spring, like planting seeds in your soul. So let's start. I'm going to have my timer by my side throughout the class. So let's start in the recline mountain pose. So roll down on your mat and come into mountain pose, lying down. So it's an active pose where your toes are pointing up to the sky, flexing your feet. We'll go through the essentials of good posture. Your legs are straight, strong. There's a gentle bend in your knees. Your navel's tucked to your spine, so you feel that lower back connecting with the mat. Your shoulders are relaxed and rolled back, so you feel those connected to the mat. Your chin is tucked a little bit toward your chest, so the top of your head, the crown of your head, is perpendicular to the mat. So it's not at an angle of any way. It's the crown, the top of your head's perpendicular to the mat. So that's our essential of mountain. So if you put one hand on your tummy and one hand on your chest, we'll just do some deep inhales and deep exhales. And during the inhale, just feel under your hand, on your tummy expanding, and just feel that breath going up to your chest. And then on the exhale, focus on sending that nourishing breath to joints in your body. And we'll do that throughout the class. So during this piece, you can just choose a couple of your joints and focus on those, maybe something feeling a little tense today. Send that exhale, that nourishing breath to that joint. So let's just inhale deeply. Feel your tummy and your ribs and your chest rise. And then exhale, send that breath to one of your joints. And continue inhaling and exhaling just for a few moments. Real deep inhales, real deep exhales. And you can relax now. Bring your knees up to your chest. Both knees up and interlace your fingers around your knees and just give them both a nice gentle hug. We're gonna take those interlaced fingers and wrap them around our left knee, extending our right knee to the bottom of the mat. Toes are flexed, pointing up to the sky to keep your legs active. Navel's tucked to your spine so your lower back feels connected to the mat. Your gaze is up to the sky. You can envision the blue sky with the clouds gently floating by. Nice image. And I'll start our time and give you an affirmation. I am blessed because every day I can start again. I am blessed because every day I can start again. And we'll be in this pose for 2 minutes. You can continue your deep inhales and deep exhales. Maybe sending the exhale to the knee joint or to the hip joint. Bring both knees back up to your chest and give them a gentle hug. Bring your interlaced fingers to your right knee and extend your left leg out to the bottom of the mat. Toes are flexed up to the sky. Gaze is up to the sky. Blue sky with clouds drifting by. The affirmation again is, I am blessed because every day I can start again. I am blessed because every day I can start again. You can bring both knees back up to your chest and give them a nice hug. And then set both feet on the mat, about hip width apart. Navel's tucked to the spine, so your lower back's close to the mat or connected to the mat. Then we'll bring our right ankle onto the upper part of our left thigh, just below the knee, for Recline Pigeon Pose. And you can guide your right knee toward the right side of your mat until you reach that sweet spot, that edge, and let your intuition guide you in that. And then you can stay here, or if you want, you can interlace your fingers behind your left thigh and guide your left leg toward your chest, maybe so that it's perpendicular to the mat. And then lift your left foot so that right toes and left toes are pointing up to the sky. And we'll start the clock now. And just find which position is sustainable to you. And if you start off in one position and you feel need to change, please do that. We're looking for maybe a little bit of tension, but not pain. So the affirmation is, like a flower, I am growing at my own pace and savoring every moment. Like a flower, I am growing at my own pace and savoring every moment. Bring both knees back to your chest and give them a gentle hug. And set your both feet back down on the mat, hip width apart. Now we'll take our left ankle and place it on our right thigh, just below the knee, and gently guide our left knee toward the left side of the mat. Toes are flexed. And you can stay here, or again, if you wish, you can interlace your fingers behind your right thigh, bringing your right thigh perpendicular to the mat, lifting your right leg, like right shin up so that it's parallel to the mat. And again, flexing both toes. And the affirmation is, like a flower, I am growing at my own pace and savoring every moment. Like a flower, I am growing at my own pace and savoring every moment. Bring your knees to your chest and give them a gentle hug. We're going to make our way up to a tabletop position. So you can either roll over to your side and make your way to tabletop, or you can roll on the mat, roll your spine up, cross your legs, and come forward and come onto tabletop. I'm going to bring both knees to the edges of the mat, bringing our big toes together so that they touch. And then lower your hips toward your ankles. And if you have your towel or blanket available, you can put it in front of you. We're going to come into a wide-legged child's pose, so you can rest your head on your soft cushion here. So we're going to start the clock now, and this will be for 2 minutes. The affirmation is, today I celebrate the joy and wonder of spring. Today I celebrate the joy and wonder of spring. You can come up into a tabletop position again. Bring your knees hip width apart. Your hands or wrists are right below your shoulders. We're going to do thread the needle. So let's lift our left arm up to the side to shoulder height. And then sweep it under your torso, bringing it over to the right side of the mat, bringing your left shoulder and your left ear down to the mat. And again, you can have your blanket there to cushion that, since you'll be here for a little bit. And the affirmation is, I stay rooted and will blossom no matter the direction or force of the wind. I stay rooted and will blossom no matter the direction or force of the wind. Take your right hand, place it on the mat, and bring yourself back up into tabletop. We'll do that on the other side. I could really feel the stretch in that pose. So back to tabletop. We'll sweep our right arm up to shoulder height and then sweep it under our torso, bringing our right shoulder and our right ear down to the mat. Again, you use your towel as a cushion. And the affirmation is, I stay rooted and will blossom no matter the direction or force of the wind. I stay rooted and will blossom no matter the direction or force of the wind. Bring your left hand, place it on the mat, and gently come back up to tabletop. Next pose will be a low lunge lizard pose. So we're going to bring our right leg up to the front of the mat so that we're in a lunge position, knees over the ankle, and your back knee, you can slide it down the mat till you get to your sweet spot, that comfortable position, and then perhaps place the blanket underneath for cushion. And with this pose, if you have your blocks available, you can use your blocks. You're going to have the right foot in line with your hip, and then bring both hands to the inner side of your right foot. So you can place them on blocks like I have here, or place them on the mat. Your right knee is against your right shoulder. And if you're really wanting a stretch, you can bring your elbows down to the mat. But for 2 minutes, that just may not feel sustainable. So either hands on the mat or hands on the blocks. Think of your lower back supporting that. And we'll start that. And the affirmation is, I accept that my life will ebb and flow like the ocean tides. I accept that my life will ebb and flow like the ocean tides. Continue deep breathing. You can bring your leg back, come back into tabletop position. And we'll switch sides. So bring your left leg up so that it's in a lunge position where your knees over your ankle. And then move your right knee back on the mat. So that's on the mat to a point where you feel that it's sustainable and comfortable for you. And scooch our left foot out so that's in line with the hip. Bringing both hands to the inner part of the foot. And you, again, could have them on blocks, any level of the block that feels comfortable for you, or on the mat. And we'll begin. The affirmation: I accept that my life will ebb and flow like the ocean tides. I accept that my life will ebb and flow like the ocean tides. And bring your foot back so that you're in tabletop position. Our next pose will be the Sphinx Pose. So come down onto your stomach and bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. And tops of your feet are pushing gently down into the mat. Legs are nice and active. Chest is open. And if that, you don't think that will be sustainable for 2 minutes, you may want to adjust your elbows, maybe move them a little more forward, or place the blanket underneath your rib cage to support. And find that sweet spot for yourself. And the affirmation is, I open my heart and mind to the abundance that life presents to me. I open my heart and mind to the abundance that life presents to me. you can come back up to tabletop position. For our next pose, we're going to come into staff pose. So from tabletop, you can cross let your legs be, and then sit down and back, and then bring your legs out front. So staff pose, it may feel a little bit better to have support underneath your hips, angle your lower back correctly. So legs are nice and straight, toes are up, pointing up to the sky. You can push down in your fist just to kind of get your sit bones right. And then we're going to do a gentle twist. We're going to bring our right hand behind our hips and just lay our left hand on the mat. So we're twisting the upper body, but we want to be in staff pose as much as possible. So that's that L shape. Bring the right hand behind your hips to create a nice long spine, and place your left hand on the mat. We're twisting the upper body. So the affirmation will be, I allow my mind and body to naturally transform and, evolve. Sorry about my glasses. I'm like, what? I allow my mind and body to naturally transform and evolve with the turning of the season. I allow my mind and body to naturally transform and evolve with the turning of the season. And come back to center. And we'll do that on the opposite side. So again, we're going to bring our left hand now behind our hips, opening our chest toward the left side of the mat, and place our right hand down on the mat. Maybe it's just your fingertips. And the affirmation is, I allow my mind and body to naturally transform and evolve with the turning of the seasons. I allow my mind and body to naturally transform and evolve with the turning of the seasons. you can twist back to staff pose. Our next pose is going to be a recline butterfly, or what we know to be as cobbler's pose. So we have two options. I'm going to take my towel and put it out the long way and then fold it. Putting the soles of my feet together, like cobbler's pose, I'm going to place the towel on top of my toes and take the ends of the towel, bringing my hands under my legs, grab onto the ends of the towel and pull the ends of the towel underneath my leg so that my feet feel enveloped in this blanket. It's nice and cozy feeling. If you don't have that and you do have the blocks, you can place the blocks under each knee. And then we're going to just gently roll back and come into a reclined state. And if you like, you can bring your arms out into goal posts so that your elbows are at a 90-degree angle. And just let your shoulder blades melt into the mat, your lower back melt into the mat. And the affirmation is, I trust my life is blossoming exactly as it should be. I trust my life is blossoming exactly as it should be. Over a little on that one. Just enjoying it way too much. Alrighty, and the last pose, we're going to bring our knees together to our chest. Give them a nice gentle hug. Send your arms out at shoulder height. And then drop your knees gently to the right for a recline twist. And then slowly turn your head to look at your left fingertips. And the affirmation is, this morning, I awaken as though I am seeing life for the first time. This morning, I awaken as though I am seeing life for the first time. Gently roll your head back to center. And then inhale, lifting your legs back up to center. And then lower your legs over to the left side of the mat. And gently roll your head to look at your right fingertips. The affirmation is, this morning I awaken as though I am seeing life for the first time. This morning I awaken as though I am seeing life for the first time. And gently roll your head back to center. Inhale, lifting your legs back up to center. And then extend your legs to the bottom of the mat and prepare for Shavasana. And just let your legs relax. Let your whole body relax. Let the nutrients of today's practice soak deep within you and help you to blossom each and every day. I'd like to read a quote from Deborah Adele, her book of Yamas and Niyamas. Life knows what to do better than we do. Our task is simply to let go and receive each moment with an open heart, and then dance skillfully with it.